And gifts actually weigh into this next segment. Dr. Karyn Gordon is here. We're talking about love languages. We have talked about love languages before on Cityline, and it was wildly popular, and I get it. It's because it sort of breaks down the main things you might be looking for. And how you need to be giving that to your partner. And then asking for that back from your partner. But it's really good to narrow it down and think about, what am I about? How do I express love?
It's such a simple, basic understanding. And I often tell couples, if you cannot get this part, you're in trouble. It's so foundational, but it's so simple. But you do need to have a willing spirit.
Okay, so Karyn, what are the love languages?
Okay, so the 5 love languages was created by Gary Chapman. He is a marriage counselor from the States. I read this book like 20 years ago. Nobody had heard about him until Oprah basically found him, and then of course blew the whole thing up. So the idea is that he's a marriage counselor, and what he found is that he would work with a couple, and he found that after doing this for a number of years, people really were speaking in a different language, and because of that, they were kind of missing each other. And he identified that there's 5 main languages that couples really value, and so everybody here in the audience, I want you to think about it. I want you to get a pen and paper out at home. Here are the 5, all right? Here we go. Number 1 is affirmation. So that's kind of like, I love you, you're hot, you're sexy, you're amazing, you're like the best husband, you're like the best wife, you know, all the things that we always say. Number 2 is physical touch. So that is, yes, sex, but it's also affection. It's like holding hands. It's putting your hand on a person. It's hugs, kisses. Number 3 is gifts. So it could be big things, but it's more often I find small things.
Small things like what, a chapstick?
A chapstick, yes. Chocolate.
Okay,
chocolate.
that does
See,
count.
I told you.
That counts.
It's chocolate. It could be like getting a little magazine for your spouse. Okay, so it's not. It's more like the thoughtfulness of the gift. 4th one is spending time with each other, and the 5th one is acts of service. So that's actually doing things for a person, whether you're not doing errands or doing some laundry or washing the dishes. So these are the 5. Okay.
Do you know what you are?
Oh my goodness, over the top affirmation.
Oh, me too.
Yes, I know.
But it's less of a you're hot, you're sexy. It's more of a you're doing well, you're doing good, you're okay. Like I need that more than anything. I gave Leo this test yesterday.
And?
So he guessed wrong.
Oh dear.
So he thought, he was like, oh, acts of service. And I go, no, that's what you do, because he's a man of service. He washes the dishes, he cooks all the meals, he does all that stuff. I go, that's what you do, and you do it well, and I love it. But no, I go, guess again, and he said affirmation. I go, bang on. And I said, and I know what yours is too. Physical touch.
I know.
I was like, how did you guess?
But it's a little obvious.
Yeah, it's a little obvious.
It's a lot of, most men I find, not to generalize, but I'm going to generalize anyway. Most men I find it's either affirmation is very high for men and physical touch.
Got it.
If I was going to kind of what I find when I actually work with couples. So the idea with doing this, and this is kind of tip number 2, is really understand why it's important, because think about how much stuff is coming at us every day. We are bombarded with all these different things, and with couples, we don't have a lot of time, and so a lot of times what happens is people miss each other. So they give what they really want, but not really with what the other person wants, and so it's not really valued. Okay,
so you got to figure out how to give what they want.
You have to figure out. So in thriving relationships, you understand with what your partner wants, and you give them what they want, not what you want. Okay, this is very, very important.
That is very important.
Very important.
Okay.
Very, very, very important.
So that's why they are important. You have to figure out then what your partner wants.
So there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can literally take down the list, and when I do it with couples, I get them to write down 2 different columns. Prioritizing 1 to 5, what do you most like to receive, and with what do you like to give? Usually those lists are the same, but sometimes they're actually different. So I love to give affirmation, I love to receive affirmation. My husband likes to receive affirmation, but giving, when we first got married, it was acts of service, and affirmation was at the bottom.
He didn't see the big
and he grew up in a family where that's not what they did. They showed love through service. So you're going to find when you're with a partner that they kind of do what their family did, right? And so he had to learn, and it was a training period. I will tell you, those first few years, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I would laugh and giggle because his affirmations were really bad. They were really bad. And then I realized, oh, I can't. He goes, you can't mock me. I'm trying.
Make fun of me.
You can't make fun of me. And I really had to learn to affirm his affirmation.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good conversation to have.
It is a good conversation to have.
And you do actually have to teach it. And I think that a lot of people, there are a lot of oppositions to a lot of these these languages of love, because people say, I've been married to you for 15 years. Why do I need to tell you what I want?
This is one of the most common oppositions. And I'm going to tell you, because we're different.
Yes.
We are different.
And you have to say it.
We are different. Men are different. Women are different. We kind of think that people think that they don't. So it doesn't matter. I don't care if you've been with a person for 1 year or 50 years.
Yes.
You need to really teach each other with what you really value.
Right. Okay,
yes.
so let's go through some of the other excuses that people give for not.
And these are not made up. Okay. Right. I speak across the country, and let me tell you, when I'm teaching this, I will hear all kinds of opposition. So ask yourself, does this sound like you? Here's what one woman said. She said, that's pathetic that my partner needs affirmation. It's so needy. I'm not going to give that to him. I'm not kidding. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. But let me ask you, how's your marriage?
Right.
How's your marriage? Because, you know, it's that. Literally, I'm looking at her going, oh my goodness, right? So, but she was looking at it from her lens. And what a lot of people do is we think, well, that's pathetic. Like, why would I do that? Like, and we put a hierarchy on. There is no hierarchy. No one love language is better than the other.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you try to see them all at equal playing fields. Yeah.
So this one is a good one for me. I can't believe my partner wants gifts. It seems so materialistic and shallow.
Right.
That would be my first judgment as well.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't care about gifts. Like I'll get myself what I need. I don't care about that stuff. But it's good point to make. They're all equal.
They're all
whatever you need is what you need to get, and whatever they need is what you need to give, hands down.
Yes.
Right?